slept in a lot longer than I thought. My body must have really needed it. I only just now woke up and it's 8:30. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm sure my feet are gonna screaming memes at me as soon as I step out of this tent. I got a good bit of miles to cover today. Thankfully, it looks like most of them are either flat or they slope down and then flatten out. There might be like a few tiny little wave humps in it, but I'm shooting to end at a spring that is 11.6 miles ahead, mile marker 276.1. Now, it says there's no camping there and it's just a water source. The only camping before that is 8.6 miles back, which means I would only be doing 2.5, 3 miles if I were to stay at that one. And then the only campsite that comes after this water source is apparently 20 miles. And that's some bullshit. I ain't traveling 30 miles to get to no damn campsite. Yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna get to this water source, I'm gonna look around, and I will stealth site somewhere. I will find somewhere flat, and I'll put my tent up, and not give a damn who is watching.
Say it like that. Barely even see it anymore.
I would kill for a 0 day. I just feel tired. My head just wants to relax without having to think of what dumb stuff I'm gonna have to go through today. It's a killer that there's no water up here, because if there was a water source where I could refill, I totally would have, but there ain't, and I'm out of water. I've only had 2 liters of water since yesterday, going through to today, which is probably why I'm so tired and why I don't feel like moving. It's probably because I'm on the slightly dehydrated side and I just don't have any energy. Yeah, that's kind of an indicator that I needed to move and get to water. But yeah, as I said earlier, 3 miles, and I don't think there's really any uphill climbs. But just because there's no uphill climb doesn't mean it's not going to be a bear to get there, because so far this section of the trail has been completely overrun and has been causing me all kinds of headaches. So yeah, we'll see. We'll make it. Just might be slower. Okay, I'm now 1.7 miles from the water. Thank goodness. Dude, I am not feeling it right now. My legs are itchy beyond all compare right now. It's just tons and tons of briar after briar. I've been chopping it down with my kukri blade. My eyes are starting to blur, so it's getting harder to track the blazes because the dehydration has now reached that point. This is a very tricky section if you don't pack enough water for it. It really sucks that everything is so far apart. Again, dry mouth. This next 1.7 miles is gonna feel like I'm gonna be passing out the whole way. Alright. I got more briar to chop down now. Okay, we have gotten into some serious shit now. Dude. This is the trail. Bullshit, that's what this is. I am really not looking forward to the rest of this trail because from what I hear, it gets worse and worse and worse as the trail gets closer to the end. And this is just terrible.
I think that's the blaze right there. Ouch.
Oh yeah, and by the way, if I didn't mention it, all of this overgrowth that you're seeing is mixed with briars and nasty thorns. So you can imagine the pain I'm going through right now wearing a kilt. And look at that. Completely overgrown. Dude, I got the symbols there that there's a sharp turn, and then down there further there's more symbols about a sharp turn, and it turns out it wasn't a sharp turn after all. It went straight. So it's just, everything fucks with your mind out here in sections like this, and I don't like it.
Ouch!
Well, this is incredibly disheartening. I am thirsty as all get out. I'm completely cut up on my legs. I finally get down to the water source and I look in, and this is all I see. It's terrible. There's like no clearance. I put my water bottle in, and it's not deep enough for even the entrance of the water bottle to go under to collect anything. And the next water source is 2 miles farther down. And I don't know if it's along the road. I don't know if I have to go back in and start bushwhacking to get to it. All I know is that I am thirsty now. This is just ridiculous. This is like over a 20-mile stretch of no water. How can this even be considered a backpacking trail when, one, there's no shelters, there's no campsites for 36 miles, and they tell you on the app, you can't camp anywhere. They're like, oh, it's illegal to camp here. It's illegal to put a tent here. Where the hell are you supposed to put a tent then on a backpacking trip on this trail if it's all illegal? So yeah, I've been putting it up where they say I can't because there's nowhere else to put it. And now I run into this, where I've been killing myself to try and get through all the debris, and I don't even have any water. This trail sucks. So now I am digging out and trenching this entire water source. I am using a stone. I dug out an entire channel for the water, and now I'm just waiting for the mud and murk to settle to the bottom that I disturbed, and hopefully I dug it deep enough that I can put my water bottle in there and actually get something. This has now turned into a surviving trip. This is all about survival and trying to make it to the end without dying at this point. Bloody well sucks. Alright, so I got lucky and the trench worked, but I had to use the water bottles to kind of scoop. So I'd fill one water bottle up halfway because that's all I could get it, and then I'd dump it into the other water bottle, fill it up halfway again, dump it into the other water bottle, and that gave me a liter. And then I filled up the other water bottle to half again, so I got about 1.5 liters of water. It wasn't the cleanest. I have little floaties in it, but at that point anything would do because I was just dying. So being dehydrated, I had my liquid IV packets, and I've been holding on to them because I haven't really wanted to use them unless I was in dire straits and was dehydrating and really needed an electrolyte pickup. So I'm glad I did, because this was definitely one of the moments and times that I needed them. So I dumped 2 liquid IV packets into the 1 liter, and then another IV packet into the 0.5 liter. So I'm starting to feel a bit better. My eyes aren't feeling as blurry anymore. And it says there's another trickle of a water source 2 miles down. So that's my goal now, is to get there, refill again, chug, and if it's a decent water source, I'll just stay there to chug it and then refill them again and treat them. Try and consume as much water as I can, because this trail is growing incredibly unpredictable. I don't know where water sources are going to be dry anymore. I don't know how long in between, but at least right here in this Everett section, Williamsburg, everything is very, very far apart, which makes this very, very difficult. All right, we are closing in on the water source and potential next campsite. So it's actually kind of crazy up here. There's a lot happening. Down on that side of the hill, there is a current and ongoing logging operation. It sounds like I'm hearing a lot of machines and a lot of noise, but it's completely bare of trees back there. You can't see it because this line of trees that hasn't been touched is blocking, and this section up here is kind of interesting too, because this looks like an orchard. So we got like an apple tree here. It's so weird seeing an apple tree up here. I might try and climb it and grab an apple.
That's a beauty right there. Look at all these things.
Oh, the universe provides. Dude, that was amazing. I haven't had fruit in forever, and I've been dying for some fruit. And up on top of this hill, dude, apple trees. They're the coolest apple trees. Like, there's tons of little cherry apple type of things on them. But, they taste amazing. And they're juicy, which is exactly what I needed, because with the dehydration and lack of sugar, these things are literally feeling like lifesavers right now. So I don't know how these apple trees got up here, but I am incredibly grateful and thankful for them. So I picked a few and stuffed them in my rucksack so I could have nice little healthy snacks to keep my energy up to make it to the next town and to the next water source. But yeah, it's just phenomenal. All right, we made it to a water source, and thankfully this one's running good. You see right down there, got a nice flow going, good current. So what I'm doing is filling up, and right now both liters are treated. I'm waiting another 10 minutes for the one to be drinkable. And then I'm going to guzzle the entire liter and then refill it. Simply because I can't guarantee that further down the trail where I want to get to is going to have a nice steady water source. So my goal is to be completely hydrated now, so that way by the time I get to my stop point, I should be pretty good on water in my body, and I won't have to guzzle what I have in my backpack, and I can just kind of conserve it for tomorrow to make it to another water source. So that's kind of my plan right now, and it's super cool because this water bank is actually, it's filled with mushrooms, and I found a bunch of hedgehog mushrooms, which I'm excited to have found. So those are in my backpack now. I've been looking for chicken of the woods again, but I haven't found any more of that around here. And I'm pretty sure that I've been seeing so many of them, and I posted it on a foraging group on Facebook, but nobody has gotten back to me, which is kind of annoying. But I'm pretty sure these mushrooms that I'm finding everywhere are, I think they're called tawny funnel caps or something like that, and it says they're edible, but I wanted to get a backup opinion from everyone else that forages to make sure, because apparently there's a lookalike or two that aren't exactly edible. But if I knew if they were edible, man, I'd have so many mushrooms to eat, it would be just ridiculous. But at least for now, I have the hedgehogs, and I have at least a dozen to maybe 15 apples that I picked from that little random orchard on top of the mountain. So I'm sitting pretty good as far as food, produce, natural yumminess. So feeling pretty good. Now I got the water situation covered, and I'm feeling mentally able to handle the next leg.
Refill complete.
Alright, so I'm gonna try and do some face care. I passed a burn pit way back, and I snagged a bunch of charcoal out. You can see. So what I'm gonna attempt to do, I'm gonna clean my face off in the creek here, the creek, and then I'm going to mush this charcoal into a powder, mix a little water, and then I'm gonna try and rub it on my face, try and make a paste out of it. Do like a little charcoal paste mask sort of dealio, trying to absorb all the toxin, sweat, dirt, grime out of my pores. So we're gonna give it a go. We'll see how it works. And then after that, we'll start putting our stuff together, making the mushrooms and the meat, and make some fresh little wraps for dinner. And after that, I do believe it's gonna be bedtime. Okay, we got step one done. I got ground down decently, so I'm gonna add a little water, try and break it down a little bit more. We'll see what happens.
Alright, here we go.
Just got done washing my face off. As you can see, we're down by the creek. So now, well, which by the way, I washed my legs off, and as soon as I rubbed my legs down with the stream water, they are burning. It's not fun at all. All right, let's try this. Need a little more there. This side. Alright. There we go. And we got our own DIY charcoal activated mask for the trail. All you need to do is find a burn pit and get your pot or something to mush it down with. You're good to go. I also figured why not. I had plenty extra, so it's a good, if it does good on extracting stuff from pores, I figured, hey, the briars and stuff that I ran into, it's really just slicing up and putting little bits of poison and enzymes and awfulness into my skin. That's what makes it itchy and awful, so there you go. All the way around. But we'll see if it works. It's actually, I'm feeling it tingle on my legs, which is a nice tingle. Like it's that really good cleaning sensation tingle, like it's extracting stuff from my legs, and it's actually starting to neutralize the itching. So another nice little tip that I didn't even know. If you're getting your legs sliced up by briars, then maybe making a charcoal activated mixture and rubbing it all over your legs at the end of the day might be the way to go. And I'll keep you updated. I'm gonna let this all sit on for the next 15-20 minutes, see what happens, and if I want to, leave it on another 10 minutes. I think it's like 30 minutes max you're supposed to do for like charcoal masks or something. So yeah, 15 to 30 minutes I'll leave it be, and then I'll come back and I'll see what's going on. Alright, that was freaking delicious. I didn't have many, but at least I had some mushrooms to put into my meal tonight. So, they hit the spot. Fried up the last of my andouille sausage, cooked it with the mushrooms, made some wraps, ate a little apple cinnamon breakfast bar. I'm feeling quite content. Whew, that's been up for a while. Feels kind of nice to let it down. My legs are, now that everything is set and settled, I can see all the scratch marks going up my legs. Like, right there, down. Got some up here. And then all down, you can see the paint marks from the scratches. It was awful. For yesterday and today, I went about 20 miles, give or take, before I found water. So that was brutal. I was definitely getting mad dehydrated. Everything was blurring. Like everything 15 feet in front of me was like starting to blur and haze, and it was awful. My body was not wanting to move. It was starting to feel like it was low-geeing up, which made hiking the miles difficult. Ugh, it's the charcoal. My face feels awful. Like when you're out here for days and days on end and you're between places where you can shower, it gets really sticky and really nasty really fast. So like my whole face was like breaking. Like I had a breakout on my lip, hurt like crazy. But yeah, that's also because I have like oily skin. So mix that with the humidity and all the sweating, and it's just been gross. Today I got hit with the idea, why not use charcoal? because the charcoal masks are supposed to be the ones, I think, that suck the stuff out of your skin and out of your pores to clean them out. When I found charcoal, I put a bunch of pieces in a baggie, brought it with me until I made camp, and I mashed all that charcoal up with my spoon and added some water and ground it down. I put it on my face, I put it on my legs, and I will say my legs definitely feel better. They were feeling meh, like itchy, uncomfortable, nasty, and yeah, I put that massive coat on both legs all the way around on the calves section, and when I was putting it on, it burned a little bit because I was just rubbing a gritty paste into a bunch of super fine lacerations. Basically, I let it soak for a half hour, washed everything off. My face feels great. Like, it feels smooth, it feels soft, it feels clean. So it worked great for that, and my legs are feeling great too. It itched a little bit when I was drying off with the towel, but I think it was just because I was using an abrasive, again, on really fine cuts. But once I finished drying off after the rinse, my legs feel great. They don't feel itchy, they don't feel aggravated. It just feels bumpy and awful because of inflammation now. But it's a fun trick. So if you have lacerations from thistles, briars, anything, and your face is disgusting, just dig some coal out of a fire pit, mush it up with a tiny bit of water, rub it on, let it sit for half an hour, and you'll be golden. I keep hearing a lot of noisy sounds. So I'm like constantly looking at my tent. I heard a massive boom up over the hillside like 30 minutes ago, and I was like, what is that? But now I just keep hearing things everywhere. It's getting to be my bedtime, which I love. I love this early bedtime, early wake up. It's nice. Now the trick will be to see if I can continue with that when I get back to the homestead. That's gonna be really tricky. This sucks. I'm getting closer and closer to finishing, and it's getting harder and harder to get myself motivated to move. I got out this morning, went to the bathroom, thinking, I was like, okay, I guess I'm ready. And then I got back in my tent. I'm not ready. There's nothing about this trail that is motivating me to keep moving at all. I really want to be done, which should be motivation enough. But at the same time, I really don't want to start hiking and go through more briars and more junk, you know? Okay. Off we go. Whoever did the blazes on this trail needs to go back to school and learn how to do it proper. They suck. The blazes are very poorly put out. I'm only 15-20 minutes into my hiking, and I already got lost almost. Very close to it. Yeah, the path, you can't see it for jack diddly. It's completely covered in debris and leaves, and it was already hardly anything of a path to begin with, it looks like. So the whole path just kind of blends into the forest floor, and I was following a blaze, and it turns out I was supposed to go to the left a bit, and it wasn't a turn signal on the blaze, so I didn't know that. And I just kept going straight because I can't tell the difference anymore. And within 30 seconds to a minute, that's all it takes, guys. 30 seconds to a minute of walking in the wrong direction, and I was several hundred feet off of the trail, and I could not find a blaze anywhere. And very luckily, I was able to see, because the sun hit it in just the right way, a blaze that was on a tree way off to the left, and it was almost completely faded and gone. So somehow, by a stroke of luck, I managed to see it and get back on. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know, dude, it is dangerous. Because if you're hiking at night and you lose it, you're gonna be goner. And being is that there's like no actual trail path that you can actually discern from the rest of the woods, it would be impossible. You'd follow your GPS to try and get back on trail, and it would say you're on trail, but you wouldn't be able to tell because it's blending in with the rest of the environment. So if any mid-state trail volunteer people are watching this, these sections are very dangerous to do. There's my 2 cents for the first 20 minutes in. Cool. Now let's keep going. Alright, that was a pain in the ass. Remember when I told you the blazes sucked? Well, happened again. I was coming down that super steep decline, and it's impossible to look up. Like I had to look at my feet the entire way down because I had to make sure I wasn't going to trip on something and go falling to my death. And wouldn't you know, that somewhere in the middle of that annoying decline, the trail decided to go to the side. Well, I didn't see it. I ended up going all the way down and then hit a dead end, and then I had to bushwhack all the way through what you just saw. I almost fell through a few times, and that was just awful.